That's
No,
right.
thank
All right, cake time's over.
One more
Sorry,
thing.
sir. Okay, district enrollment.
Staying steady. I'm getting ready for registration will begin this Friday.
Any principals report?
Okay, before we left for spring break, I almost said Christmas break. Before we left for spring break, we had a very successful science fair, which actually Mr. Madueno in the audience, I don't know where he's at, he ran. Our winner was Christina Pakovic, who did an invention on ozone-producing habitats, which was very interesting. Very proud of Christina, as she was also Penoyer's West 40 Scotty Award recipient. That's the Student Citizen of the Year. The award assembly was just this afternoon, and I attended and was able to see her get her award. Penoyer held a Parent Visitation Day on March 20th before spring break as well. While we had a fantastic turnout for our younger grades, we did have very few parents attend for our upper grades, so that's something we're going to work on more for next year. Staff participated in professional development that was entirely teacher-led on March 23rd. I'd really like to thank both Angela Gonzalez and Melissa Tronco, who really spearheaded the event, and just all of the teachers who participated in some form or fashion, whether they were presenting, whether they helped plan. I mean, it really was a staff-driven event, and feedback that has been gathered has been very positive. So I think in the future we'll look to a format like that again. We are looking, as far as upcoming events, we have a spring book fair coming up the week of April 23rd. We have our third grade wax museum coming up on April 26th that you're all invited to. Mrs. Fricky does our dear graduation, which will be April 27th, as well as our family pizza day, so that'll be a busy day at Penoyer. Rhonda, and I'm blanking on her last name, from the Curriculum Leadership Institute will be out on May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd again, where teachers will participate in continuing curriculum work. And then we're having our Junior Achievement, that's a financial literacy program. They're coming out again on May 4th, and Julia Peters, our Social Studies Department Chair, she spearheads that event. So it's been busy.
DC.
Oh, okay, I forgot. I'm still sleep deprived. I got 10 hours of sleep, 3 nights total. We walked 22 miles. Saw literally everything that you could see, but we had 0 lost children. So it was a wildly successful trip. The kids all had a fantastic time. And other than security at the airport, which is always a nightmare, everything went well. Really, hats off to Julia Peters. She did an amazing job spearheading the entire event. And there is not one thing that she did not miss. She really thought out everything. It went so smooth. It was phenomenal.
Were all the kids able to go?
We had 37 kids attend. I believe there were 7 kids that did not go. I did call the parents of every student that didn't go just to kind of say, like, hey, why are you not going? We had a couple parents who just did not want to send their kids. A couple parents who, students who were participating, I want to say it was soccer, or some travel league that they just did not want their child to miss the games. And then we had another student who has a family member who lives there, and they're like, oh, he could lead the tours, like he doesn't need to go yet. So, but it was a really successful trip, and we had I want to say it was 37 of our students go. I mean, really not even one issue at the hotel. It went so smooth, it was fantastic. Next year, you guys should all come with.
Then there'll be issues.
So I was gonna wait to ask Ms. Peters. I was gonna give her a week to catch up on sleep before.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask her if she wants to do it next year, and she had already emailed me. Is it okay if we do it again? So she as well had a great time. So thank you to the teachers and parents that went. It made it special. And the principal.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, thank you. I think we had 2 FOIA requests. Any comments?
Is most of what's being requested online? That somebody could find it all there?
If it is, not these 2 requests, but if they are, then we do direct them to the website.
And then do we actually put it in an Excel for the individual that's requesting it?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, statement of economic interest. Everyone here knows they have to get that done. May
Done.
1st.
Done.
Done?
Done.
Do you know when someone's done? Do they send it to you?
They're supposed to send it to you.
Okay, have you
Oh,
all?
you,
Yeah, I just forwarded the email I got back.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll send it.
This was,
It takes literally.
Did I send it to you? I did it, but I didn't send it to you. Just
did.
Maybe my computer says.
Could be. Okay, final evidence-based funding calculations and distribution.
So the state finally came out with what our general state aid is going to be. We're number 109 on the
Thank
spreadsheet.
you for
There's
that.
a couple spreadsheets on the table. If you can't access, the link is a little difficult, but this is on the Illinois State Board of Education website. Anyone can look at it. But they rate you by an adequacy target, and they're looking at our funding that we receive at about 89%. So that means we're in tier 2. Originally, when the first draft came out, we were at tier 3 at 91%. So because we've dropped down to a tier 2, we are going to receive an additional $10,000 in funding. There was an article run by the Daily Herald this past week, that talked about, I believe it was $365 million in funding. So if you take the time to look at this, like I said, there is a link in board books. You can see our neighbor districts. Some of our neighbor districts are receiving quite a bit of money. And of course, this is based off of some of it's low income funding, tax dollars. So they find us to be 89% adequately funded. It does not take the state, it does not take in consideration capital projects or needs.
Any more on that? Technology.
Hello. Just a really quick report. We've been busy wrapping up testing, also working on some server improvements and upgrades. We've been upgrading some of the security on the servers, new OSs, new antivirus, making sure our system's secured. And we also rolled out our iPads for K through 2 right after spring break, and that's been going over really well. So the teachers have expressed excitement about it, and the kids are enjoying it, and really starting to dig in and integrate it into their lessons. So it's going really well, and then we're going to be beginning the talks with 3rd through 5th grade and the refresh for next year. So more to come on that, but everything's been going pretty good. So thanks.
Okay, so last month Victor was out with the flu, and this month he's out with the baby. His wife had a little, and his wife welcomed a little baby girl. Not last Monday, but the Monday before. So we had 7 rooms abated over spring break, asbestos abatement. Unfortunately, of the 7, about 4 rooms have pretty substantial cracks and damages to the foundation. So we're going to have to look at having the floors sealed and some of the cracks treated. And we believe that there's some moisture coming in from those, which is what loosened up the asbestos tiles to begin with. Also this week, we had an air handler electric panel go out, so we're looking at having that fixed. It is necessary to have that. It's what's bringing fresh air into 2 of our middle school rooms, and they need fresh air in there. So I've been working, Victor's been online, working with me, checking emails, and he'll be back in 2 weeks.
Okay, FY18 budget amendment.
So this will be the first draft of the budget amendment. We'll need to amend this year's budget, and pass a resolution to transfer some working cash into the building fund for some work, some of the life safety work. So it was discussed at the facilities meeting that we will be moving $150,000 from working cash into our building fund to get done some life safety. So in May, we'll present the tentative budget. We'll advertise it in the paper. It'll be on display. And then in June, the board will hold a hearing on that budget. So I did include in last week's board update some of the highlights of this draft budget. We did receive that technology loan from the state, so we have to report that as income. In addition, the revenues and expenses for the building fund.
That's at 2%.
It was at 2%.
And we use that for tech, right?
Yes, it can only be used for technology. Are there any questions about that? We'll look at it again next month.
Yep. All right, conference sports discussion item. Last we left, the discussion was about eliminating conference sports. We kind of tabled that in lieu of looking at the possibility of doing some kind of fee to help offset the cost. I put together something based on what Kristen had put out to everybody. Take a look.
Yeah, I was going to ask working numbers for this year.
Okay, that's it.
Is there?
Okay, sports, cheerleading, pom-poms, cross country, all the other activities, scholastic bowl, cost the district about $48,000 a year. I kind of try to break it down by individual sport, girls basketball, junior JV, varsity, and individually look at charging a fee that will help offset the costs of the school district. Obviously, I'm not really keen on getting rid of sports for the children because it's just me punishing them. But we still need to find ways to save money to get things fixed. So, all the costs are on the left side, and then I have per person on zero cost to district. In other words, if we wanted to cover every single dime, the fee would be based on that particular sport. This is based on the team size that they have average-wise. And what we could do, this is just my thoughts, obviously, we could divide that cost up by however many people want to play. So if there's more, the cost would go down. We could be flexible with that. I have a zero cost where they would cover the whole $48,000, and I have covering 50% of it, covering $24,000 of it. These are just my thoughts. Chime in, talk.
One concern, but first of all, obviously we're looking for a solution to two different problems. So I appreciate that you did this, Mike. What I think one concern is one person, and this is just a concern, that one person might be involved in 3 of these sports. So
I take a view of every sport based on the 50% coverage, not the 100% coverage. Okay?
Okay.
If you had a child that was in every sport, it would basically be about $550, $560 for all 4.
Oh, because instead of a common fee, you would actually charge by the sport.
Yeah.
Well, this is just my idea.
Yeah.
So doing a flat fee,
Yeah.
each sport costs us X based on busing and officials and home and away. Some of them don't even include some of that.
So I think that on the 48,000 number, I think that's comprised. I think there's about 50 kids that participate in sports total.
Probably, yeah.
You know, so of course there's an overlap and a doubling down and stuff like that. So it's just something to consider.